Welcome back to FTB Infinity Expert Mode. I'm CZSurvivor, and today we're going to be working on another power system using these little fellas in here, and also setting up the crafting area where all this ME networks can go, because it can't hang out here. This is not how it's supposed to be. This is supposed to be over here, all nice and organised. So I did want to do the power first. Unfortunately, I've run out of storage space for crafting. If we quickly take a look, and molecule, we are full. There is not a single space left in these ME interfaces. So I'm going to start moving everything over here and setting up how I want this bit to loot. So I'm currently waiting for a few things to craft, and whilst I was doing it, I remembered a fact and ended up modifying the quarry system that I have. Basically, trash cans are prioritised by the ender quarry as storage. So if you put an item filter in there, they will be the first things to receive the items. Item filters lock it to what it can receive. So I've got this one filtered to not allow cobblestone and stone. Well, to allow cobblestone and stone, so it automatically trashes them. Then it goes to this dimensional transceiver. This dimensional transceiver is also taking all the fluid as well that this pumps up, and that's going straight into a fluid destroyer on the other side, which is good, and we can quickly show you that now. I also made a charge port to get home, makes life a bit easier, but it takes a lot of power to get home. So where is it? It's over here. So basically I've just got it pushing out on this side and this side, so fluids go into here being obliterated, and items automatically go into the ME interface being automatically sorted, and that means this thing never gets full. And to turn it off, just say that, turns it off, any residual power in the quarry will still run and fill up the buffer, but the buffer will empty because this thing's still functional, which is nice. So this is the plan, what I'm going to do for this storage area. At the back here I am going to have 6 double 64 crafting storages, using the co-processors to stick another 64 on top. So what I need to do now is, if I do that, then I stick one there and one there, we should be good to go. You know what? Actually no. Slightly annoying that this is just above where it needs to be. Maybe I could raise these off the ground? No, because then that would make it awkward. So yeah, so now we have storage, so now I can start crafting more of these. Unfortunately, resources do seem to be a mild problem. So, let me make another co-processor and another 2 64 crafting storage. Right, so we now have 3 16K storage. I don't have enough to make the next one, but we also have another problem of we have storage overflow. We are actually hitting the maximum of storage. So what we're going to do is we want storage cells, and I'm just going to keep going with 1K for now. We need quartz glass. Let's just get 20 of you and forget about you. So I need to also make an ME drive. Also I need to change this back to what it was before, because I was trying to make space for stuff. Quartz glass, there we go. We get 1 of you, and that should be good to get started. So what I'm thinking is we put the drives in batches of 8 over here. So we're going to put our, actually, would my pickaxe go to 1? Put this here for now, stick you there, and then we just need to run ME cables. Actually, I wanted the ME cable to come into it like so. Let's see, let's line ourselves up and make sure we place this the right way. There we go. So now we have a bit more storage. So the next step is to let's see, so we want you to go here, and we just want to dump in a bunch of 1K storages. So now that we have a bit more storage, that is good. And I think on this side is where we'll put all of these things, the molecular assemblers, so we can start crafting. So I'm gonna get moving them over, because that's gonna be a pain, since each one of these has a bunch of stuff in. So we'll be back once I've done that. Right, so this is what it looks like now. We've got all the storage in and all the auto crafting set up. So now we can start work on the power system. So we're going to be using blazes, as you can probably guess, to be burned within a its name will come to me in a second. Survivalist generator, probably 8 or 64 times. And hello, you have not updated that I've turned you off. Thank you. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So first of all, I want to create a new drawer, a compacting drawer actually. So let's make the compacting drawer. This shouldn't take too long. So if you don't know how a compacting drawer works, it basically allows you to have all the different states of a compressible material. So for example, iron can be stored as blocks, ingots and nuggets. Now whereas blaze rods can only be stored as blaze rods and blocks of blaze rods, it still works. It also works with glowstone and a few other stuff. Anything that works in a 2x2 crafting or a full 3x3 crafting. So compacting drawer. So we should be able to get this to function. Hopefully, we'll just turn this off for a second, and we'll go here, and this should hopefully spew out a bunch of blaze rods. Yep. And if we do, nope, you did not go the way I want you to face. This should place it. So if I put blaze rods, yep. So it's got so many blaze rods and so many blaze lamps, and it allows access to both of them at the same time, which is very nice. So for example, the ME network can actually just request a bunch of blaze rods, and this thing will automatically convert blocks of blaze lamps into blaze rods, which is a very nice feature. And we can show that if we come over here, blaze. See, I have access to 80, even though there's only 80 lamps and 8 rods. The system is very smart, which I really like. And this means that I can use blaze rods for cooking and burning, because the blaze rods also follow the principle of what the coal does. Using 9 blaze rods to make a block is actually 10 times as long lasting as a regular piece. So it's 10% more efficient, I can't remember, but you get an extra piece of burn time. So that's what we're going to do. So the first thing we want to do is teach the system how to make a survivalist generator. And then I'm going to start off with just 8 of them. So SURV, we'll tell it to craft 8. And then I'll make it into the 8 times generator. So we need one of these transfer nodes. So we need the breadth. Oh, we have one of those already. Right, I'll be back once again. Right, so what you are seeing here is some computer craft wizardry. I have created a nice little program that displays the power that's stored, the energy change, and actually changes the colour of that. So red, oh no, we're losing power, and it will go green once it starts actually producing more power. But yeah, as you can see, we've got a deficit. And it will also control my energy systems. So if we, actually no, don't do that, edit power control. So first of all, our first section we see here. This bit is just getting a bunch of variables, finding a bunch of stuff. So I'm saying where the pylon is, where it hooks in. I'm getting the max energy, I'm getting my upper and lower boundaries by doing some simple math. And I'm getting the current energy stored. Then we run into our few things. So let's first go down and just go through it basically. So first of all, it gathers the energy, works out what's inside the pylon, does all the math to work out if it's gaining or losing. Next of all, no, it doesn't do that there, it does that here. In right, it works out whether it's losing or gaining power, and in energy control, it says, hey, we need more power, turn on the generators. And then it sleeps and waits for a second. So let's go up to the top and start with a simple thing. Energy right. So first of all, clears the screen, makes it nice and clear. It then sets the cursor position to 8-1. That basically sets it so this is just to align these two, so the equals is the middle point as you saw. I'll show you it again. I did the math and it worked out to be 8. It sets the text color to be white. Then it prints energy equals and then writes the energy stored. then it does a little bit of the calculations. If energy change is greater than 0, then set the colour to green. If it's not, well, set it to red. So that means if it's 0 or less, the energy change, we're red. If we're not producing power and we're not losing it, something's wrong. That's why it's red. Then it sets the cursor to be the next row underneath and writes that information out. So where does it get this information? Well, that's nice and simple. First of all, it sets energy old to be what the previous energy stored was, and it regathers the energy. Then it works at any change to be the current energy minus what the old energy was. Nice and simple. And finally, here's the energy control. So it does a check. If energy is lower than the energy lower, so my lower boundary, hey, we need power. Emit redstone to turn on the generators. Then it enters a while loop. While the energy is less than the upper energy bound, so for as long as it remains less than the upper energy bound, just loop here. So this bit here is just to make sure that it keeps updating that monitor and keeps telling me what's happening, and it sleeps to wait. Once it gets more than that, it says, hey, we're done, we've got enough power, and turns off that redstone signal. So it's a nice simple program, nice functionally. So you see these functions just allows me to make things neater and also call things twice. For example, that energy gather, I would have had to write that twice, and so on and so forth. So we'll show you it running again, as I said, in the middle here, and apparently we're gaining power, which is a good thing. So I am just going to quickly terminate that. I am going to exit that, and I am going to kick that into running there, which is nice, and we're gaining power again. So now we need to work on this. So we currently have a redstone signal coming through. Unfortunately, does that actually reach that is the question. We are receiving an energy. No, it doesn't. Question number 2, do you receive it through the top? Yes, you do. Right, so that means I can put this up here and say when it receives energy, do stuff. So when it's not receiving any redstone signal, I want it in. Okay, so I'll quickly set this up. So here we have it, nice simple setup. So these blaze lamps produce huge amounts of power. We have nothing to worry about power production wise. However, it is pretty slow with a survivalist generator, so I am going to make a bunch more survivalist generators and set up a bunch more of these. That will work. I was just thinking about how I'm going to set this up. I may move this along a bit so I can have a more efficient setup. I think 12 survivalist generators, let's see. 40 times 12, 12 times 4, 12, 24, 48, 480 RF per tick. Survivalist generators do produce low power. Could do with the 64 times. SUR. How do we make this 64 times? Bedrockium. Why not? I have sperm mocks. Do you know what? We're going to put 4, well, for now, just one 64 times generator around it. So let's explain. So you can see the redstone is going through here, and it's pushing this thing out, which is allowing these blaze lamps to go into here. So the next step is for me to go create my 64 times generator. Right. So let's make our 64 times survivalist generator. So there is the 8 times, and oh, you aren't done. That's mildly annoying. I thought you were actually done. Oops. You appear to be taking your time. Here we go. 64 times generator. Does look pretty cool, I have to say. And if we put this here and put this here, that there, grab a blaze lamp. Thank you. Set this to that, push that in, and we are good to go. So now all that we need to do is, well, set up the automatic turning on of the blaze farm when we don't have enough blaze rods. So I don't know how much this can actually store, so I'm gonna say you can have 100 stacks of blaze rods. Right. So I was encountering a problem with the blaze spawner. Now, if a blaze just happened to spawn against where you can see those factory blocks near the top, it would get stuck on what was transmitting the redstone signal. Now what I have done is I have stuck some factory block facades here, which basically mean that they can't get stuck in it, so basically they will just fall down and then get pulled by the corporeal attractor, which is pretty nice. Also, apparently we have over 100 blaze lamps. Maybe I have a few stuck in the system. Is possible. We'll set this priority to 1000. That should be a high priority because it wants to receive that, and it also wants to receive the sulfur. And that is done by using a painting machine. You put the block that you want to paint with here, and then you put conduit facades here, and it outputs painted conduit facades, which is pretty nice and useful. So I've just made an iron spike. The reason for this is to make this thing more efficient, since the iron spike is able to hit multiple mobs at once and doesn't require... Oh, you collected it, right. Doesn't require any power, so let's just get that spike back, and let's just actually get rid of this ender collector here, thank you. And let's try this again. Will you? Yeah, you'll hurt mobs there, okay. Ooh, interesting question. Will the blazes be able to see me through the... Well, there's one way to test. Take a stack of that and see if they can see through here. If they can see through here, we had a block to block the vision. Probably a piece of glass. No, it appears as if they can't go through there. They don't all appear to be on that block at once, which is annoying. I've got an idea that might be. So, as you can see, all the blazes take damage at once, which is very useful. We'll see it again here. And it doesn't require any power, as I was saying before. And this one functions the best, I think. So, we're going to put the blaze rods back in there. Don't have any more, do I? No. Right, that's good. And I can put that there. So, unfortunately, we ran out of time for today's episode, but between this episode and next, there's one thing I want to do, and that is improve this laser system area. I'm actually going to move the laser thing over to here, and have an entire or maybe over here, chamber dedicated to the laser, and having its auto-crafting functioning, which will free up a little space here, which means that little thing over there, we'll have a little place to go, and we'll be able to get auto-crafting for crushed obsidian. So, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed. If you did so, hit that like button. For any comments, questions, drop them down in the comment section below. I'll answer them if possible. New channel, hit the subscribe button, stay up to date, stay well, and Survivor out.